Hey YouTube, gonna do a video on the smoke hollow smoker, electric smoker. I'm gonna cook a pork loin roast. Usually I do a tenderloin and it's just awesome, so I thought I'd try a roast, see what happens. But I meant to get the tenderloin, but I accidentally got the roast. We'll see what happens. But you need we got 7 pounds and I cut it in half, freeze the other because it's just my wife and I. But you need to get your meat, rinse it off, pat it dry. You're going to need some kosher salt, brown sugar. I'm going to make a brine. There's a lot of different brines, but this is just a simple one and it tastes great. You need a bowl and a plastic bag to put the brine in and the meat in. You want to do this the night before. Okay. I'm going to take a half a cup of kosher salt, put it in a pan, and then we're going to dump in half a cup of brown sugar in the same pan. Half a cup of brown sugar. Okay, now we're going to put in 8 cups of water. All these ingredients don't have to be exact either when you're using brines. There's 1. And 8. 8 cups of water. That's it for the brine. Now we're going to put it on the oven and cook it, or the stove, and cook it till it boils, and then turn it off and let it get to room temperature. So all we're doing here is just to dissolve the brown sugar and salt together into the brine mix. And then you can, if you have larger cuts of meat, you can just double the recipe. Some people put, other things in it, garlic, pepper, wine, Dr. Pepper even I've heard some people use, but I just use this basic one. It's easy and it tastes great. Well, what you do with the brine, you dump it over the meat, and the brine, the salt absorbs in and breaks down the meat, and the brown sugar kind of gives it a sweet flavor, but it makes it a lot more tender and juicier. You want to do it overnight. I've even let it set in the brine for a couple nights. It's a little saltier the longer you let it sit, so you don't want to let it sit too much over a couple nights or it'll be too salty. Okay, we just let it come to a boil and now we turn the stove off. Let it come to room temperature. And this will be the brine. Pretty easy. Okay, this is the pork loin roast. Usually I do a tenderloin, but the tenderloin you'll do the same exact way. And I know the tenderloin's really good, but we'll try this roast. It's rinsed off and cleaned. And I'm gonna stick it in the Ziploc baggie. Okay, after you put it in the baggie, then set it in your bowl. Because all that's for is in case you get a little leak, it'll overflow into there. And we're going to pour the brine after it's room temperature over the meat, stick it in the fridge, and let her sit overnight. Okay, we're at room temperature. Let's dump her in. I always put it in the sink so I don't make a mess, but here we go. And I made a mess anyway, but I almost need one more hand. You want to get the meat so it's completely covered. There we go. Put it in the refrigerator, close the door, and you don't have to do nothing until tomorrow. This video is already up to around 5 minutes, so what I'm going to do is, once you take that meat out, the next day, you want to rinse it off really well to get all that salt off of there and get all the brine off of the meat. Rinse it really good and then dry it really good too. And then what we use is this Corky's cookout seasoning to put a dry rub. Just sprinkle it on and rub it in really good. There's all kinds of different seasons. This one has kind of a barbecue flavor to it, but they're all about the same ingredients. You know, it's just mostly salt, brown sugar, and garlic, and onion spices, bell peppers, just all a bunch of different spices, but we like this one. And then you rub that on, and then I'm going to do another video since it takes so long to upload these things onto YouTube. And I'm already probably up to about 6 minutes by now with all my talking. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll do the next video on how to use the Smoke Hollow electric smoker.